Across the globe, 2,800 dedicated soldiers and civilians at 23 locations in 11 time zones stand ready. This is SMDC.
Welcome. From the High Ground Studio at Redstone Arsenal, Alabama, I'm Lyra Fry, Director of Public Affairs for U.S. Army Space and Missile Defense Command. I'm excited to announce our command's new High Ground podcast, available November 2nd. The High Ground will be SMDC's news and information podcast with exclusive content you won't find anywhere else. Today, my team members, Michaela Mast, Ron Bailey, and I will talk about what you can expect in future episodes. So, Michaela, tell us why people should listen to the High Ground podcast.
For two reasons. The first is exclusive content. SMDC is such a unique organization, no one else is doing what we do. Through this podcast, you'll be able to keep up with our latest news and hear exclusive interviews that'll give you a behind-the-scenes look at different aspects of the command, aspects other organizations don't have. Secondly, people are just busy. We produce a lot of content each month, and people don't always have time to read all our articles or watch our videos. So we've created this podcast with busy people in mind. We'll keep our episodes short and give you the highlights of our most important and interesting stories that you can listen to on the go. Whether you're listening while you do PT or you're on your morning commute, we'll keep you up to date on all things SMDC.
Thanks, Michaela. Now, Ron, what can the audience expect in High Ground podcasts?
Many other podcasts are single topic based with a subject matter expert, senior leader, or small panel, and that's fine. But we feel that would limit the potential usefulness of a podcast since any particular month's topic might not be of interest to our listeners. So we might miss that listener for an entire month. This is largely why we choose to format the High Ground monthly flagship podcast as a multi-segment, multi-topic show. Every month there will be at least something in there for everyone. Our forces and units are scattered across the globe at 23 locations and 11 different time zones. So like a lot of what the rest of the Army is doing in this COVID-19 environment is using technology readily available to us to bring in those interviews and stories to the listeners. Now, what this means is that we may not have the most highly polished audio during some segments of the show. We're often talking to and recording people halfway around the globe on shaky internet or phone connections. For listeners, that may mean we get a report from one of our PAOs or other SMDC team members literally recorded in a Connex at a range somewhere in Japan. But we're bringing you right there with our soldiers and civilians who are actively performing vital, real-world SMDC missions. And that, to me, is really what it's all about.
Ron, I feel the same. Michaela, who will we hear from on the show?
You'll get to hear from all of SMDC's public affairs team. We'll all host from time to time, and in each episode, we'll be interviewing soldiers and civilians from across the command. Each month, you'll hear different voices, and you'll get to know some of the team members that are working to secure the high ground.
So that's your inside scoop about SMDC's new High Ground podcast launching November 2nd. Check out our Facebook and Twitter at Army SMDC for information on how to download. Thanks for listening.
This is SMDC.